Hello, this is the tutorial. I'd like to continue work on the UHP meta project. I'd like to talk a little bit about blueprint as well as how to create a portal so you can teleport across multiple levels. So before I do that, I do want to just simply synchronize my GitHub. There's 87 commits since last time, so I think that's a lot. It's good I run this GitHub desktop, just fetch to make sure I'm going to synchronize with everybody's update. This will be the first thing you should do every single time you run your project. Just run fetching and make sure you pull all the latest files. While it's fetching, I also want to point out is in case if you lost your local connection, you can always re-establish your local repository, just in case if you have to reinstall the GitHub desktop and then you just need to repoint to your local repository. In my case, this is always saved in my C drive, TM, GitHub, UHP meta. So that's the location you want to point to. All right, so I have 42 changes commits since my last login. So I'm gonna pull this into my local, done, and then I'm going to run the UHP meta. Okay, so that's a lot of changes since last time. Okay, so finally it's opened. Okay, so let's take a quick look. Since I know there's a bunch of levels has been pushed by students, and here I can definitely see every single level here. That's pretty cool. So what I will do now is to do a couple of things. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit what is a portal, blueprint. Also, I'm gonna simply, travel from the main lobby into these individual levels. That's a lot of levels. So let me just go through these levels really quick, make sure these levels are good to go. So I have Brook 1, I will open it. Seems like open is an empty level. Oh, there's some content here. Okay, so I will probably link to this level 1, although the name could be better, but I'm not worried too much. So in the PB, double click. This is a really simple one. Okay, I can link to here. Also, there's some content I believe is downloaded from the Sketchfab. So this is empty. That's fine. I think I did this one. Tom, main, Riley, change tower. I think that's it. Okay. So for each of these levels, it's very important you all have a starting point for a player, and also in the game mode you have the third person game mode, right? So what I will do is, I think some of them didn't have the player starting point, so I will just simply put in, so it will avoid any of the future problems. So sorry, I did the wrong one. Should be this player start. Yeah, so you have to get this one, otherwise it won't be able to play. So I will check all of this, just make sure all the levels has a correct starting point. Not sure about this level, looks like just some. Okay, just put it there. I want to point some of the levels already have this starting point, so that's good. And some of the level already have a portal dragged in. I will talk a little bit more about this later. So there's Star Wars, and here's a dragon. Let me just check what the dragon looks like. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let me just do this really quick. I need to change the player to 1. Okay. All right. Yeah, I just need to go through every single person's level, make sure you all have a starting point, you all have the way we can actually play the third person, right? So that's from Carolyn's. Yeah, some of the level I just need to start. I see this one don't have a starting point, so I will just simply drag player start, right? Put it here. So if you play this, player gonna simply land it here. I believe, if I'm not sure if the scale looks wrong, it definitely looks too big. Plus, I think the collision was not set up correctly. So let me see if I can fly in. I can't. All right. It might be because this thing. Yeah, I will do this really quick. Right. So this is the static mesh. And if you go to collision, yeah, if you want to make an accurate collision, you have to change this to complex here. So it's using complex collision rather than the basic one. So complex collision will basically allow you to go inside. So if I move or shift, right, see, I'm able to go inside. That's how it works. Right? Just do the complex collision. I also feel like the scale is completely wrong. Maybe this is the intention. You wanna make like a giant palace or something. Okay, so I will leave this. But in the future, if you do want to make a smaller scale, you can always go to detail, and here you can change the scale. I would do 0. I don't know, 0.1 maybe. Then you can see it. Maybe it's a little bit too small. Yeah, I think it's definitely too small. Let's do 5. Right. So that's kind of close to the human scale. Then if I play, I should be able to go there. Yeah, that's pretty close. Right, you can go up. Okay, so that's how you add a collision to objects you download. Of course, we can do the flying mode. Okay, yeah, and I will save it. So that's for Caroline. I do want to mention, like for some of you, if you do have, let's see, a super complicated environment, I see this Star Wars, right? If you do want to collide, let's just play really quick. If you do want to collide with it, yeah, this one's already have a collision, so that's great. Yeah, but in case if you want to create a complicated collision, you just need to, open the static mesh. Then you should be able to set the complex collision. So here I will show you one more time, right? Too quick. Let's browse to asset, double click, right? Then you see this is the collision. Geometries you have to set as complex, collision as simple. That's the one, collision complexity. All right, so I don't want to do this one by one, so I will probably just pick a few levels and then I will make a teleportation to them. For other levels, yeah, I think they all looks pretty cool. So let me play this one. Yeah, this one already have spiral stairs. This one has, I think this one is a dark with some really cool puzzle here. Like it. Well, if you do have a very dark scene, I would at least add a few lights. So I will maybe do a simple, and if you go to lights, I will do a spotlight or point light, right? Point light is the most common one. So if you drag and drop, right, F, you can see the light right there. Is a quick way. You can give illuminations to your environment. You can definitely adjust the location. Right, you can see the lights. So that's would be my suggestions. At least add maybe 1 or 2 lights. You can also make the light has a little bit different color. Maybe this light is a purple color. So if I play, right, you will see the lighting effects, right? You can tell from the shadow, this character has, casted a shadow based on the light, right? Okay, so I will save this. Also, just to make sure this one has a player start. If not, I will just put a starting point, right? So if you go back to the most useful one, commonly used one, player start. Okay, so I put one here. For CP, I also want to just make sure I checked all the levels. Okay, so there's 2 cars. Same thing, I like to put player start right here. Okay, then let's talk a little bit about Blueprint. Blueprint, I put this link here, Blueprint in Unreal Doc. You can also just simply Google blueprints for Unreal documentation. It has a really basic introduction page, talk about what is this scripting language based on the GUI, graphic user interface. It has some basic terminologies, how to get started. So I highly recommend you watch the first one before you watch my video, Blueprint Visual Scripting. So in general, I just want to give a very, very quick 101 introduction about the Blueprint. Blueprint is a coding, or we call it programming, which allow you to do really complicated interactions in Unreal. Usually, this Blueprint require 2 parts of the component. The first component is how you trigger the action. We call this as event or trigger. Usually they can mean as this kind of red color. This event could be, for example, you're stepping into a collision zone, which could be the portal, right? Teleport to a different level. So the collision would be the trigger. The trigger also could be, the event tick. So when the time, like matched with something, then it automatically trigger it. It could be other things like when the game play, you trigger something, or when you collect enough coins, or if your health score is lower than certain values, is trigger something. So this is called event. Besides the events, you also have actions. This arrowhead basically means events, right? It can mean as a red color. The event also could be like you press the keyboard, or you use your mouse, you press the trigger key. So these are the possible triggers of the events. And when you link an event to an action, the action basically means what you do, right? When the event is being triggered, there will be a consequence of actions. Right? So you can link multiple actions together. The action could be jump to another level, could be shoot a bullet. So there's many things. I'll play a music, play a sound, right? So event, trigger, and actions. So think about these 2 as the most important component. So here today, I don't want to dive too much complicated blueprint. I just want to talk quickly about an overlapping event. This is the way we actually trigger our portal. So here, I will actually just show, I'm using CP's level as example. I already created this portal under one main. I think this is the location I have my portal. So the way to use the portal, if you roll over, this is the blueprint class. So later I will show you how to do this from scratch. So the way to use it is just simply drag and drop. Right, the drag and drop, you can do multiple if you like. So you could have 3 portals, and each portal will link to a different level. That's possible. So once you drag this portal in and click in the details, you can see some of these variables will be exposed in the level, right? So here in the default, there's a variable called level name, or we call the input. By default is a start lobby. So if you don't put anything there, this will just simply automatic link to a level called start lobby, right? That's under dash here. So if you recall, start lobby is the one we, whenever you open the project, this is the first level automatically open, right? So if you don't do anything, it's just each portal gonna link to this level. So let's play and take a look. All right, I will play this scenario. I think the vehicle is, yeah, is right here. So I think the player, hold on. I think the word settings, I want to change this to third person game mode. Right. So save it and play. Right. So see the superhero girl, and you can see the pretty nice car here. And so the way the portal works is, number one, you'll see each portal has orange color box, so you can know the location. Second, it has a pink color text, tell you which level you're gonna be able to teleport to. So if I step to it, then it's automatically teleported to my lobby. Right. So this is how the teleportation works. So if I don't want to teleport to my default, I can click this right in the details. Maybe I wanted the first one teleport to start lobby, that's fine. The second, I want to teleport to a level, I know it's called Star Wars, right? Because I know this is already there. Star Wars, right? This is a level under 2P NC. Did this, so just make sure the spell is correct. Star Wars. And the third one, I think I already did this. Maybe to the dragon, or maybe to the to Bao. I know Bao did another level is pretty cool. It's called Bao level. So let's just simply type the name. Right. And then I want to maybe make another portal. I want to teleport to dragon. I think that's also made by NC. It's called Dragon 1. Okay, so just make sure the name has to match. Dragon 1. Okay, so now if I play, save the file. Right, so you can see I have created 4 portals. First one is go to lobby, second Star Wars, then Bao level, then the dragon. So I can jump into any of them. Oh, I think the name is wrong. Otherwise, it won't go to this default level. So let's see, there's double G here. Yeah, there's only one G. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, so it has to make sure the name match precisely. So now if I play, you also see the name automatically update right on the text. So now you see the it's teleported to the correct level. Okay, cool. And I can try the next one. You know, Star Wars. Where is that? Yeah, this is Star Wars. Right. So see the Star Wars, and I can definitely fly. Okay. Yep. So that's one. Yeah, I think this is how you create each. You know, oh, this is must be something wrong. If you type the wrong name, it just go to the default. So it's ball level. I forgot L at the end. Right. So just make sure you have correct name. Yeah. So I go to the boss level, but I'm falling down. The reason is in boss level, there is not a starting point. Right. I save the selected. Oh, there is a starting point. Let's play. Okay, that's strange. That's strange because let me just test one more time. If I go to boss level, why is falling down? Yeah, there must be something wrong there. So let's double check. So here I will go to player. I will go to start. Oh, there's actually not a start. This is not a starting point. Yeah, my mistake. This is actually not a starting point. So here, if I make a selection, this one is a capture, it's wrong, so I will delete. What you need is a starting point. So it's called player start, right? and also make sure the word setting is a third person. So now you should be fine. So here, if I go ahead, I will also start from the basic level and play. If I go to boss level, here we go, right? So it has to be a player start point. So here you can see some cool stuff there, a tank. There's a collision here. Okay. I don't think there's a complex collision. This is actually a simple collision, right? The simple collision means it doesn't really care about the details. So as I said earlier, you just need to, there's actually two parts. Oh, this tank come in with multiple pieces. So if you want any of this be, has accurate collision, you can double click, then you do the, collision, you set up the complex. Okay, so yeah, so that would work. If you do have multiple pieces, I mean, ideally you should bring in this as a combined situation, so it's not end up with all the pieces. That would be the ideal, because right now you have gears, you have wheels, but that's okay. At least you have this part as a complex collision. I probably will make this base with a complex collision as well. So only these two parts, you have it. Right. So now if I play, at least I think this part you can jump on top. Yeah, here we go. Right. So that's the top part of the tank. Yeah, you only do this if you have an intention, like in the future you want to explode the tank, so all the pieces will falling up, falling apart. Then you bring in as individual pieces. But anyway, I think we got enough about the levels. So let's talk quickly about this portal. Okay, so how I made this portal one by one, step by step portal. Okay, so I will go ahead, just quick refresh. Each portal when you drag into our scenario, by default is go to the start lobby, but you can definitely change it to other lobbies, other levels. Just simply change the name here. The way I did the programming for this with a blueprint is done by this way. If I double click, you'll see this is my portal, right? The portal has two parts. First is the viewport. It has several components, including the text right here, including a trigger box, including a cube, right? And also it has a variable called level name. This one is a string. So when you create a new variables in Unreal, you can give whatever name, you can define the type. And this basically a different kind of placeholders. So if you know you are gonna do an integer, floating points, a name, string. String is very common if you know this will be a text. So string would be the common one. You give a name. Okay. When you create a variable, it's good you can turn this on. So what happens is this variable will be visible in a scene. So here, if I compile, I have this called AADAS, is a random name. So here you can see in the default, right, in the level, I have this new kind of default variables. You can put in a value here. So it's just a way you can, have a placeholder, and then you can allow user to customize the text, the string, in this level. Okay. So now I don't really need this, so I will just go ahead and delete, right, and compile. So you have this one gone. All right, then the next thing I like to talk quickly about the logic, right? The logic, the first one just simply, hey, I want to allow player to define the string, right, for this variable. So what you do is you drag this variable here, you choose get, right? Okay. So that means I want to gather the information from the players, from the users. They put this value in. I call this get. Once I get these values, then I can pump this value into the value, right? So in this case, the value is the set text function. So set text function is from the text render. So this is actually the text right now. So you just simply drag it, right? Then you say, hey, the text, I want to set text. Right? And then you want to trigger how you're going to set the text just by drag and drop. So now you have the event, you have the actions, right? The event is going to trigger this action. So each time when you begin play, this will be automatically triggered, and then the text render will be the target, and the value, right, will come from the variable. So you can just link and drop. Right, just clean up a little bit. I can delete the old one because we don't need them. Right, so you have this simple logic. If I want, I can make a type C. I give a comment. I will say set text for level teleportation. So this is basically which level we want to jump to the with the teleportation. Okay, so compile. So I'm done with the first one. The second part of this portal, clean up a little bit, is how you're going to trigger, right, the action. So the trigger action is done through this called trigger box. By the way, you can add a trigger box. Right, just adding name here, trigger box. A trigger box is an invisible field which allow a user to collide into. You can define the scale, make it larger, smaller, and this trigger box will be responsible to be the event trigger. Okay, so if you select trigger box and go to event and right click, you will have this pop-up. Pop-up is really handy. It gives you all the possible event, right, you are able to add on top of this current selection. So you can see under the collision, you have begin overlap and overlapping. So these are the two very important. You can step in, step out. This will be triggered. So if I try choose this one, I already have. So it's this, and this one is a step out. Okay. So when I step into this trigger box, so first thing I want to do is just simply print the string. So tell me, hey, you are in, right? Print string is a very nice node. We'll just give you some clue, something happened, give you some, hey, things working. And then after I step in, I want to open a level, right? So here you can just simply type open level. Right? This is how to create a portal connection to a different level by name. And the name has to be, match exactly with your destination. In this case, since I don't want to define the level name, within the blueprint, I want to define the name, allow the user to define it, right? So I will just simply drag the placeholder, the string variable, drag and drop. And this time I will choose get, right? So I want to get whatever values there. By default, this is called start lobby. So if you don't define anything, this is just go to the start lobby, right? So if I just drag and drop, choose get, then I can link this to this level name. Right? That's how I define the destination for the level. Okay, so that's how this trigger box works. Also, when you step out of the trigger box, you could do something. In this case, not necessary. I just print the string means out. So if you like, you can give a comment. I will say step into portal. Okay, so that's basically the meaning of it. Then I compile. I got this script. Right? So that's how the blueprint works. You have a trigger event, and then you have some actions. Right? In the future, we will talk more about other things about more complicated script, but I think this is a really basic one. Now you know how to use portal in your level. So what I will do now is simply go back to my portal, kind of like a starting lobby. And here I will go ahead, create a portal to individual levels. I think maybe some other students already did some portal. Yeah, this is probably done by other people. Okay. Yeah, I will do some cleanup work, then I will show you the final result. So here you can see what I'm doing is if I'm holding Alt and move, I'm making a lot of duplications. Alt, release. Right. So on each of these, I'm going to link to a different level. So here's Dragon 1, here's Star Wars, and here I want to link to Bow level. So I just simply rename, copy. If you want to make sure the name match, you can do copy paste, and then I go to 5 Carolyn's level. I will rename, Control C, copy, and then go here and just paste the name. So it's a little bit time consuming, but I want to do it very slowly. Just make sure I have a correct link to each of your levels. In the future, if you do want to make some update, right, of your level, yes, you can do it. Just make sure you have you know save over your old name, so I don't have to redo this. I don't need this one. Just put it far away. So I don't have to redo this. So I'm in a Frank's level. So if I W to move, right, if you're holding Alt, you can make a duplication at the same time. Okay, so I think I need probably a couple of more. Right, so this is test Frank. This should be the next one is number 8. Create name, copy, right, and then I paste the name right here. All right, so after lots of copy paste, I have a dozen of portals, right? They should all link to a different location. What is this text? Okay, so this text is just side lobby. That's fun. So now if I play, right, during the play, you can see all the purple color text are going to update. So tell me which level is this each linked to. So that's pretty cool. So if I want to jump to any of the portals, I can just simply step in. It should loading that, right? Yeah, this is the portal I made earlier for Tom, but this one definitely need, right? If I go to Tom level, well, there's 2 of them. I forgot which one I linked these 2. So this is 18 Tom level. If I open it, it definitely missing a starting point. So player start. Right. So save it. I should also probably put a portal here so I'm able to come back, right? So go back to one main, drag the portal. This should be what you do in your level. Just later, synchronize from GitHub and then check. You have a starting point, then you have a portal to go back. So if I play, I can go back to the portal, right? And then I should be able to go to 18 Tom, right? So this is how you go back and forth between these 2 levels. Okay, that looks pretty good. Then I can actually go to any of these levels. I think the level is a little bit too tight. So why not we do this? I will go back to lobby, right? I will just make this a little bit wider so they are not overlapping to each other. So why not I just pick a few and then I will move them a little bit backward. Okay, they should not be too close because when you have the trigger box, right, you don't want to accidentally trigger this. It's also a wise idea. You don't want these other objects overlapping to it because this could be accidentally trigger this without your character step in. So I just want to make them just be further away from each other. Then I play. Right, you have these portals. So let's try that. So Ming level 1, test Joshua. I can go there. Yep, I can see the levels. Pretty cool. Again, later for Joshua, make sure you have a portal back. Star Wars, I think we already have a portal back here, right? That's pretty good. Carolyn's level, yeah, I think we're being here. That is a level back. And Star Wars, I think we've been here already. And then we can go to test Frank, right? This is the portal. I think there are two portals here. One is the start, another Star Wars. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I can go back. Yeah, I just want to test everyone's level. I will have two tests, Frank. I will remove one. Brooke. I think this is one probably missing missing a starting point. So let's do that. So in the Brooke level, which is number 10, right? I just need to open it, make sure you have a starting point, then you'll have a level to go back. Okay? And gameplay, I will do third person. Okay? I will save it and play. Let's see, cool. Now I got it. Now I go back. Yeah. So I think Brook level is good. Then I go to even sword. Yeah, this is probably the same thing. I don't repeat here. You need a starting point as well as a portal to go back. Then let's go to other levels. I think 18 Tom we already tested. This is the test PV. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, we need a portal come back. Can do that later. Go to another. So this is the basic level. I don't know which one did this. Oh yeah, the pretty fancy cars. Yep, but you got the idea. This is how we are able to travel to different part of the world. So it's pretty cool. Ooh, we're inside a tower. We are able to get out. What this tower looks like. All right, it's pretty big. That's nice. And yeah, just make sure you have dragon ball. I think we've been to the dragon before, right? Yeah, I can take a look at the skeleton in the future. This definitely looks wrong. Yeah, that's interesting. Boss level being there. I'm not sure if I've been to platform and basic, so let's go there. Let's go to the cam level first. Okay, cool. This is nice. Yeah, they are just the placeholders. In the future, you definitely continue to work on the details. You can add more stuff you like. All right. So I don't expecting you have everything here today. But this is cool. We got everything we have. We just need to, yeah, this is the one with the particle system. This is really nice. I thought we made some lighting. Oh yeah, the shadow here. Right. This is going back to. Oh, this is going back to the Star Wars. Okay. By the way, if you do want to add in some cool particle system, feel free to do so. I would recommend you can just simply do it by drag the starter content. We do have some basic particles. I don't know if you want to just simply use it, drag and drop. So here you have the smoke, you can have fire, you can have some basic stuff there. It's pretty easy. You can just drag and drop and use it. You can also do scale. This is just like a typical objects. You can make the scale, let's see, 5. So the fire will be pretty large. The same thing for smoke, right? You have the smoke here. If you want to make the smoke pretty large, maybe I want to do this as 10. Right, so now if I play, you should be able to see, right, some of these special effects for fire and smoke. Yeah, it just gives you a little bit more kind of dynamic feeling about the environment. I think this smoke is pretty cool. All right, I hope this tutorial will be useful for you to just understand the basics of Blueprint. In the future, you can definitely customize my portal. You can make the portal more useful for you, and you can maybe create connection to each other's level. And also because we have everyone's asset, right, all visible to each other. So if you do want to use each other's content, feel free. I don't think there is a concern of copyright. So for some reason, if I think, hey, I really like this asset, if you know this is from another student, but I think it's okay. You can just drag and drop and use it. I don't know. I think this is probably out of the context. Then you can, make sure it's kind of fit in to the content you have, right? I would delete because this one doesn't really make sense. Yeah, just feel free to use each other's content. Okay, so I will close this tutorial. I will actually push all the changes to the GitHub. So make sure you synchronize to GitHub before you do your own stuff. So I go here. I made 16 changes. It's mainly on the levels, right? Since I add the starting point, I change the game mode. In some cases, I change the collision objects as well. So there are some 16 changes. So I will say portal update. Right? So this will be my latest push commit. So I commit that. I will push it to the cloud in GitHub. Just make sure everyone in my class, you guys should fetch and pull before you continue work on your own stuff, because I already changed something. Okay, I think that's it. The conclusion of basic Blueprint. I hope this will be useful.